When we think of DNA, the first thing that comes to mind is usually the genetic code that defines our physical and biological traits. DNA is considered the biological foundation of our life, and scientific research has studied it closely to understand how genetic information is passed from one generation to the next. But what if I told you that your DNA is not just a static structure, but an entity that can be influenced by thoughts, intentions, and even meditation? This is the concept we will explore today, beyond the boundaries of traditional science, as we discuss how to talk to our DNA to influence our health and well-being. DNA, or deoxyribonucleic acid, is a type of molecule that contains genetic instructions used in the development and functioning of living organisms. Its double-helix structure was discovered in 1953 by James Watson and Francis Crick. Our DNA is responsible for our physical traits, such as eye or hair color, but also for how our body functions at the cellular level. Over the decades, researchers have understood that DNA is not just a manual for biological processes, but also a dynamic and influenceable information system. Despite this progress, we have not fully understood all aspects of DNA. For example, how is it possible that certain traits, like mental health or habits, are influenced by factors unrelated to our genes? This is where the concept of epigenetics comes in, suggesting that DNA can be modified by external factors, including our thoughts and emotions. Epigenetics is the branch of science that studies how external factors influence gene expression without changing the DNA sequence. In other words, epigenetics shows us that DNA is not predestined to remain fixed, but can be influenced by the environment, diet, physical activity, and even our thoughts and emotions. Recent studies have demonstrated that certain thoughts and beliefs can activate or deactivate genes, a phenomenon known as gene expression. A famous example in this context is the research conducted by Bruce Lipton, a cell biologist who demonstrated that cells do not only respond to physical stimuli, but also to energetic stimuli, including our thoughts and beliefs. He argues that our perceptions and intentions can affect how our DNA expresses itself, which can influence our health and behavior. This opens an interesting door. We can talk to our DNA through our intentions and thoughts. If our DNA can be influenced by our thoughts and emotions, then what methods can we use to talk to it? There are a few techniques that are already popular in self-help and personal development circles, which can positively influence our DNA. One such technique is meditation. Through meditation, we can reach a deep state of relaxation, where our thoughts calm down and our subconscious becomes more receptive to positive intentions. Guided meditations focusing on DNA healing or cellular regeneration are increasingly common. These meditations help us visualize positive changes in our body and genetic structure, stimulating self-healing processes. Another method is using positive affirmations. By constantly repeating thoughts and phrases that promote health, abundance, and self-love, we can reprogram our subconscious, which can lead to changes in gene expression. In this way, our DNA can understand our intentions and respond to them. The concepts of energy and vibration are present in many spiritual and religious traditions around the world. In Indian culture, for example, there is talk of prana, vital energy, and chakra, energy centers, which are considered essential for physical and mental health. From a spiritual perspective, DNA is not just a biological element, but an energy network that can be influenced through meditation, conscious breathing, and other practices aimed at balancing the body's energy. Thus, speaking with our DNA can spiritually mean connecting to a deep level with our vital energy, allowing us to manifest beneficial changes in our lives. This is a vision that blends science with spirituality and invites us to see DNA as a living entity full of potential. Although there is more and more evidence suggesting that our thoughts and intentions can influence DNA, it is important to be aware of the limitations of this idea. First, there are many aspects of DNA that cannot be changed simply through thinking or intention. For example, some genetic traits, such as predispositions to certain diseases, are determined by hereditary factors and cannot be eliminated just through meditation or positive affirmations. Secondly, the idea of talking to our DNA is still a relatively new field, and not all scientific research fully supports these theories. While there is increasing research in the field of epigenetics, many unknowns and controversies remain regarding how thoughts and intentions can influence our genetic structure. Talking to our DNA is a fascinating concept that invites us to explore new frontiers of human consciousness. While traditional science is still in the process of fully understanding this phenomenon, more and more studies suggest that there is a deep connection between our mind and our genetic structure. Through techniques like meditation, positive affirmations, and a holistic approach to health, we can learn to interact with our DNA, influencing our health and lives in a beneficial way. However, it is important to stay open to new research and understand that while we can influence some aspects of our DNA, we do not have absolute control over all the factors that define us genetically.